Very good morning to all. So, my today's topic is Orientalism and literary illustration. Edward Said is a cultural critic, and he was born in Palestine, but he lives in America. So he is known as a Palestine American born American writer. He is a founder of the academic field of post-colonial studies, and he is a professor of literature. He has written Orientalism in 1978, and he established the term Orientalism in this book. And this book is considered to be one of the most influential books of the 20th century. And this is a representation of the Orient. Contributed to the creation of a contrast between European and its other. So, what is Orientalism? So, it is a critical concept to describe the West's common contemptuous depiction and portrayal of the East. So, according to Edward Said, Orientalism provides a rationalization of European colonialism based on self-serving history in which the West constructed the East as extremely different and inferior, and therefore in need of Western intervention for this. So there are the West and the East. So the West has this a misconception about the East that they feel, for West the East are more inferior, and they seems it, very negatively portrayed. So Edward Said has said that knowledge is not innocent; it is always operated by power. So he was influenced by Michel Foucault and other many philosophers. Gayatri Spivak also joins Edward Said in order to criticize the way in which Western writers have represented the third world as subaltern in their academic discourses. So here are some illustration from literary works like Heart of Darkness, which is written by Joseph Conrad in 1899. So in which the Marlowe is the protagonist of the novel. So he portrayed a women, Oriental women description as a stereotypical representation of Orient women by a Western writer. It is a very different representation of the natives by the Western writers. It is very different from what is real and what they are narrating and what is their assumption. Another is The Outsider, written by Albert Camus in French language. It is published in England as The Outsider, and in United States as The Stranger. In this, there are Arabs who are represented as murderers who are killed by French Algerian. So in this novel, we can also find the representation of Arabs and the East are very negatively, or it can be our assumption, it can be a unconscious representation also by Albert Camus. A Passage to India, written by E.M. Foster. So the West assumed that Indians are rapists, or as the character Mrs. Moore, coming to India and speaks that Indians need civilization which the West can give them, and consider the West as superior than East. So in this novel we find the cultural conflict that where the culture of West is superior, the culture of East is inferior. The people from West are more civilization, and so they consider themselves as superior from the East. So, in the Hollywood movie The Iron Man, which is released in 2018, directed by John. So, in this movie, we can also find a little scene where the English hero who is kidnapped by the Arabs, and they trying to kill him. So, as we know that Iron Man is an English hero and who is trying to save the whole world, but Arabs are trying to kill him. So that is also very negative portrayal. And it is also in Orientalism. Edward said talks about the representation of the Arabian countries, and as we know that there are terrorism more in Arabian countries, so